Good early evening to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for Sunday, August 28th, 2016. A lot going on in the tropics. Gaston, now a major hurricane with 115-mile-per-hour winds, the first major hurricane, or Category 3, in the Atlantic Basin this year. We have Tropical Depression number 8, pretty poorly organized in the fact that the deep convection has been removed from the center. I'll show you that in a moment. And then we have newly formed Tropical Depression number 9, 99L is no longer. It'll be recycled back into the pile, so to speak, to be used again probably within the next few weeks in the Atlantic Basin when they number these systems of interest. That's how they do it, 90 through 99, and the letter L for Atlantic. Well, this is now TD number 9. So let's look at these specifics. Top winds are only about 35 miles per hour, moving to the west at about 9 miles per hour or so. Air pressure 1,009 millibars. Now this is the track for the center of the system over the next few days, but remember, it is not a small dot on the map. The effects can extend well away from that center of circulation, and that's what the error cone tries to convey a little bit, that the effects can be anywhere within or outside of this error cone over the past many years. This is the typical error for the time period involved, but just remember, this is not a line or a dot on the map. And when I say that, I'm really talking about up here for the potential landfall areas down across the Big Bend area of Florida. Very storm surge prone, so even a 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm has the potential of bringing several feet of inland inundation along the coast there above ground level. We'll have to wait and see once they start generating storm surge maps for this system in particular, then we can discuss those impacts more. But the official forecast calling for only modest strengthening due to the conflicting signals in the overall intensity guidance. Some of the hurricane models making this into a hurricane, whereas the global models are way less enthusiastic about it. And so it's going to be an interesting few days ahead for sure. The satellite presentation on the wide shot, here it is down here in the Florida Straits. Pretty good circulation overall, still some northerly shear coming down and impacting the system, pushing those thunderstorms away from that center of circulation, enough so that it's going to only have slow strengthening over the next couple of days. There's Major Hurricane Gaston, and then we have TD number 8 up here with the center of it well exposed now due to southeasterly shear from that same upper level low. So this is what it looks like on a close-up. Again, pretty vigorous circulation, has sort of this tail starting to grow on it, which somewhat indicates better organization, maybe down the road a little bit of an outflow channel, perhaps trying to fire up there, trying to develop some banding and pull in some moisture from the Caribbean even, but of course Cuba is in the way. So as this gets out over the open Gulf, it'll clear all of that land mass and might start to intensify. So again, you folks up in the Big Bend area of Florida especially need to be watching this very closely. Meanwhile, here in the western Atlantic, here's Tropical Depression 8, very much exposed now as strong winds have come in and literally pushed those thunderstorms away. You could not write a better example and computer animate it than this, in my opinion. I mean, this is a classic example of wind shear in the atmosphere, strong southeast winds literally pushing against those thunderstorms and removing them from the low-level circulation, decoupling the system, taking the convection away and not allowing it to be stacked vertically through the atmosphere, and therefore it's not going to have a chance to strengthen. Maybe we'll see tropical storm watches for parts of the Carolina coast here. This is forecast to come fairly close and then turn away, but strong wind shear in the atmosphere. Wind shear in the atmosphere should keep this from getting too strong, so not too much of a worry along the North Carolina Outer Banks. All right, well, that's it for me for today. There's a lot going on in the tropics. I'll get into it in much more detail tomorrow as we learn a lot more about what's going on. And, of course, we're tracking what's happening in the Pacific with Madeline and Lester, but neither of those are really close to Hawaii at the moment, so we don't have to worry too much. And then we'll be watching a large system about to emerge off the coast of Africa that many of the computer models develop and bring it westward for several days. It's the end of August. It's the peak time of hurricane season. This is to be expected this year. So hopefully everybody's ready, or at least paying close attention. Have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon and evening. Again, I'm Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com. And for Hurricane Pro in HD, I'll talk to you again tomorrow.